What's up everybody, and welcome back to our channel. For those of you who don't know, I'm one half of a whole goober and my other half is in the living room. For those of you who don't know, my name's Amber and his name's Tristan, but today is gonna be just a video with me where I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna talk to you guys about my miscarriage. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put out a disclaimer that if you don't like to hear about blood or hear about miscarriage or anything, just go ahead and click out of the video. I don't want to cause anybody any, struggles. For those of you that do know me, you know that recently I had a miscarriage. I was 13 weeks pregnant, and typically you don't get a lot of ultrasounds and stuff until you're about 12 weeks. So I had only had one ultrasound, but me and my husband had been trying to have a baby, and I have PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, and I have a thyroid problem, so those both contribute to not being able to have a baby. So like they can just make it a little bit harder for you to have a baby. So me and my husband, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to have a baby, and that is not healthy at all. And as a woman, it's really hard to not be able to have a child. It's hard enough, being a parent or wanting to be a parent as a couple as a whole. Like, it's just as hard on my husband to not have a baby as it is for me. And I really struggled with not being able to have a baby. Me and my husband have been together for 7 years, and more than anything, I wanted a family with him. And I wanted it so bad that I put so much pressure on myself, and I put so much pressure on my husband that it was just a chaos. It caused a lot of problems in our marriage, and we tried for about 2 years. We've been married for 2 years, for those of you who don't know. And when we got married, we decided that, we were gonna have a baby. We were gonna try to have a baby. And we knew that with my situation, with like my PCOS and with my thyroid, that it wasn't gonna be easy. I knew that from the get-go, just because of all the stories and, knowing so many different people that had the same thing as me. So from the get-go, I knew, like I was gonna have an issue. So, flash forward, for a little while, where there was so much pressure on the both of us, it really tore us down, like it tore us down as a couple. And I didn't understand why my body wasn't allowing me to be a mom, or what I did to deserve to not be a mom, because to me, like, I wasn't a bad person, or I'm not a bad person, and I just felt like something in the universe, like something didn't want me to be a mom. Like, I couldn't understand it, and we would try for the baby, and I would go to take a test, and yet another failed one, and it just kind of beat me up. And then, because my husband didn't really understand the hurt, it kind of put a wedge between us, because we didn't know like what to do. And then I ended up stopping, like trying. I kind of gave up. It wasn't healthy anymore. And if you're ever in that situation where, you're trying so hard for a baby, you hear everything. People will tell you, like, it's just not your time. It's not God's plan. And for those of you who don't know, I'm a Christian, so is my husband. So we believe that God has a plan for us no matter what. And so when people were telling me that, it's just not God's plan, like, it hurts, because why in my mind it's like, well, what does God's plan, like, what is God's plan? Like, you want to know why you don't deserve to have a baby, and so I got really hurt for a little while, and I just kind of decided to back off of it, to stop trying so hard. So I stopped trying. So after almost 2 years of trying to have a baby, me and my husband decided to stop, and we decided to just, focus on ourselves and focus on our marriage and try to fix, what that wedge had caused. And so we started working on our marriage, and everything started looking up, and our marriage was never bad. And just when you have so much pressure on yourselves as a couple from, bills, like, you already have all these other pressures on you, bills, working on your house, whatever it may be, and then to add on top of it, you've got the pressure of trying to become parents, and it just becomes a lot sometimes, so you lose focus of it, like, your marriage, and then things start going downhill, and then there you are arguing every night, and you don't really know why you're arguing. You're just stressed out, and so you're just arguing. And, there for a little while, that's how it was for us. So that was why we decided to stop and try to work on our marriage, so that, one, to take some of that pressure off of us. And so I heard so many times, just stop trying, and it'll happen. And I wanted so bad for that to be the case too, like, that was always in the back of my head, if I stop trying, maybe it'll happen. And so we did. We stopped trying, and we started, like, our marriage was getting significantly better. We started listening to each other more, and more than anything in the world, I have to say that my husband is such a good listener. My husband is such a good man. And anytime something goes wrong for me, he loves to just sit me down and be like, Amber, like, talk to me. Like, and I am the type of person that when something's on me, I close down. So it was really hard for me to kind of get out of that, but I'm so glad that, like, I did. So, you know, me and my husband, we were getting significantly better. And then I ended up going to the women's clinic to try to figure out like what I could do to get pregnant, because it wasn't happening naturally. And so they decided to put me on metformin, and I hope that I'm saying that right, but I'm pretty sure it's metformin. And so it has something to do with like the insulin, and like, I'm not a doctor, so I don't claim to know anything, you know, about it. I just know that they told me that I needed to take that and it would help me with my like PCOS and stuff. So I started taking that, and then they gave me my first round of Clomid that I started, and we went, this was all around like the weeks in December. And then I remember like my husband, he went home for Christmas, and like we live in North Carolina, and he went back to Kentucky for Christmas, and I told him like, make sure you come back for my appointment, because they're supposed to tell us like where to go from here. And so he came back, and like the day after Christmas was my appointment, and he was so tired, you know, and like that's an 8-hour drive, and he hadn't really had but like an hour of sleep since he had been home. And so we went to the doctor, and they do like your normal stuff where you go and you like pee in a cup and everything, and you do like, they always test you like to see if you're already pregnant or anything like that. And while we were there waiting to see like what our next step was, they put me through a test and everything, and the doctor came in and she told us that we were pregnant. And like, that was the happiest day of my life. I was so excited, and because I didn't expect it to happen like at all. And I remember them like coming in, and she was like, I need to tell you something, because you know, they were just as like excited as us, because they knew how hard we were like trying. And she came in, and Tristan was sit in the back corner, and she said, I need to tell you something. And I was, in my mind, I was thinking, great, I know something else, you know, something that's gonna cause me to not be able to have kids or something like that, you know. And then she said, you're pregnant. And I was so excited. And then Tristan was in the corner, and he was kind of like dozed off, because he was just so tired from the trip. And she was like, Dad, do you want to see? And he like popped up like, what? And like, it just, that's where it started, you know. And I was so excited, because I was gonna finally get to be a mom, something I had tried so hard for. And my husband was gonna get to be a dad, and that was exciting to me. So flash forward 13 weeks, and they tell I go to the health department, because I hadn't had an appointment, just because insurance purposes I hadn't had one yet. And I go to the health department and they get me a ultrasound at the hospital here. And I didn't know that when you go to an ultrasound technician, they don't really talk to you. Like, they just do the ultrasound and that's it. Like, they don't talk to you at all. And like, this was my first ultrasound since finding out that I was pregnant. And so I was expecting like them to be like, here's the baby, you know, the baby's this big. Like, I was excited for it and I thought I was gonna get a picture and all that, but it was with a technician, so she wasn't able to do that. But I didn't know that at the time, and so I got I have really bad anxiety. Like, I have panic attacks, you know, and so I was already kind of worried about my baby, because I really do feel like we know when something's wrong with our bodies, and I feel like we, as mothers, know when something's wrong with your baby. And something was just telling me, like, I need to hurry up and get an appointment because something's not right. I was not bleeding or anything, and no cramps or anything like that, but so I go to this technician and they do the ultrasound and everything, and it's dead silent. Like, it was a silent room. Like, me and my husband were both like trying to look and see, you know, what's up, like why we're not getting any feedback, because we both didn't know. And then when we leave the room, they tell us, you know, like, she told us, you know, like, I can't tell you anything. And so, but she told us that like we could request for our disc of my ultrasound, so that's what I did. I got the disc of the ultrasound. Well, at the bottom of like the ultrasound and stuff, it was reading like 8 weeks and 5 days, and like for the measurements of it, and saying that like it was so many centimeters and stuff, and like all that just didn't seem like it lined up to me. Like, I didn't understand why it said at the bottom like my baby's measuring like 8 weeks and I'm supposed to be 13. And of course I didn't know like if there was a heartbeat or anything like that. So I go to an appointment the next week, and they tell me, you know, like I told them that I didn't get any information from the people. Like, they didn't tell me anything about the baby, and like it seemed weird to me. Like, it seemed like something was wrong and they didn't want to tell me, and like that was bothering me. So I brought that up. And then when I went back there to the back, like, we were back there waiting for a little while, and it seemed like the longest wait of my life, because I was just like, man, like, is something wrong? Like, will somebody just tell me if something's wrong? So they told me that my baby's heartbeat was really slow, and they told me that the baby was only measuring like 8 weeks, and like about 8 weeks, 5 days. So that's where that came from. And I knew when I seen it on the ultrasound that was weird. And I just kept telling myself, like, maybe they don't know like what they're talking about, or like maybe they just put in like a random date. And so they told me that the baby was measuring about 8 weeks and I was supposed to be 13, so the baby was supposed to be bigger, and it wasn't. and its heartbeat was really slow, and like there was nothing that I could do. And I think that's what bothered me the most, was the fact that for a week I knew that my baby's heart was not strong. And I knew, pretty much that, like, I have a baby inside me that's alive right now, but it's gonna die. And, like, that bothered me. Like, I can't do anything to save this baby. Like, at all. And so I think that has been one of the hardest things for me since all of this, is to think that for a week until my next appointment, because they wanted to send me to Women's Health to make sure that everything was right and nothing was wrong. And so we went to Women's Health that next week, and they did a ultrasound on my belly. And she said, I don't really see a heartbeat, but I'm gonna do a vaginal, like, just to make sure, to double check. I said, okay, still hopeful that something might be different. And it wasn't. They told me that the heart had stopped, and that the baby had passed away. And like, you just don't expect these things to happen. Everybody wants to find out that they're pregnant, and they want to carry, these beautiful babies until you can't carry them anymore, and then you get to carry them in your arms, you get to hold them in your arms. And I wasn't gonna get to. I wasn't gonna get to hold my baby. So, after trying for so long, I found out that the baby that I was gonna have was not with us anymore. So, the first, picture that I got of him was off the computer, of course, so the only picture that I was able to get of the baby, I wasn't able to find out the gender or anything because it was too little, but here's a picture of it on the computer. And you can see it. It was a good size, And then when they asked me if I wanted, the ultrasound of the baby before, we left, if I wanted the last ultrasound, and I said yeah. And I forgot to mention so the baby's heart rate was low, and I had a hemorrhage, and it was measuring small, so all those were factors, and they made sure to tell me, that all this is genetics, and that I couldn't have done anything different, which you can really appreciate the fact that they tell you, this isn't your fault, and it's not. I couldn't have done anything, and as much as after I found out, I beat myself up, I didn't understand why I couldn't have my baby. I didn't understand why, you know, I just didn't understand. But she said that it was measuring smaller than the last time, so the baby looks smaller. But this is the picture. Right there. It's my little baby. A miscarriage is extremely hard. It is extremely hard to lose your child. And I would not wish it on anybody. So, if you have a baby, make sure that you hold it close. Because I wish so much that now I was getting to go see my baby on an ultrasound, and that I was getting to hold it in September, and I'm not. And for anybody that's going through this, it does get better. But it never stops hurting when you look at your pictures of your baby. And you'll never forget this baby. And that's okay, because you should always remember your baby, but it does get better. And that's what I'm learning now. That's what I'm going through now. Trying to cope with the fact that I'm not going to get to see this baby. And that one day I'm going to get to hold my baby. One day I'm going to make it to 9 months pregnant, and I'm going to birth a beautiful baby, and I'm going to have a family with my husband. And that's what keeps me going. Knowing that losing my baby does not stop me from having my family. And I'm so grateful for all the support that I have, because I couldn't do it. I could not do this without the support that I have. My husband has been so supportive of me, and he has held my hand through everything. He's made sure that when I cry, he's there. When I want to be left alone, he'll leave me, but he'll show back up 5 minutes later. And I couldn't ask for anything better than that. So I hope that me giving my story helps somebody. Because as much as it hurts, I know there's a plan for me. And I know that in God's timing and not mine, I know that He is going to give me my baby. And I know that whatever it was, whatever it may be, it just wasn't time. And I'm coming to terms with that. But I just want I just wanted to share my story with you guys, and I just want to let you know, like, what me and Tristan have, went through recently. I wanted to talk to you guys about it because I know that miscarriage is sadly a common thing. And a lot of the times, people don't have the support system that I have. And if you ever need to talk to somebody about your miscarriage, I am always open to talk to you. Like, just message me. Like, you can find me on Instagram. You can find me, here on YouTube. I think it has messaging now. But you can message me and talk to me, and I will talk you through this. Like, I will help you, because no one deserves to go through this alone. No one ever deserves to think that this was all their fault. And, like, you could have done something to change it, because just the fact is that we couldn't have done anything different. It don't matter if you never smoked a cigarette a day in your life, and you never smoked through your pregnancy, and you took all your prenatals every single day, and you ate fruits and vegetables. You're still able to miscarry, and you couldn't have done anything. And I just want to be a support for some of you, because God knows I needed it. So I wouldn't want anybody to be left alone and to not have that. And as far as my channel, as far as our channel, me and my husband want you guys to be a part of us. We want you to like and subscribe. We want you to comment and tell us, what you think, Comment and let us know, if you've ever experienced this, let us know your stories. As far as our channel, me and Tristan really want to thank you all for giving us your support. We want you to interact with us as much as possible, because we love interacting with you guys, and we want to make this channel a fun channel, but we want to take you on our journey of moving. We'll be moving soon, we'll be moving back to Kentucky to restart our life and get us a new house and everything. So we want you guys to be part of that, because we're gonna do plenty of vlogs where you can see the moving process and everything, and we want you guys to be able to follow us in our infertility. We want you to be able to follow us making a healthy baby Middleton. And for those of you who don't know, I do have an Instagram, and it's called Making Middleton, and you can follow us on that. It's just me talking about, us being able to have our baby and the miscarriage, and it's pretty much a page for for all of our stuff, for our YouTube and everything. But you can follow closely on our fertility journey and everything. Of course, I'm still going through this stuff, and I'm still taking medicines and everything. So right now, we're not able to try for a baby, and it will be a little while until we try again. We want to try again, and we want you to be a part of it. So please, give us good vibes for that, and we thank you guys so much for watching, and I thank you so much for sitting through this video, and I hope that I can help somebody. Thank you for watching.